So it's been a while since my last video, and honestly, sorry about that, but I just haven't had much motivation to post. Maybe I'll do them more frequently. I don't know. Just as of late, just haven't had much motivation to record and post videos. But as you can see, this video will be about my fifth march, and I currently use these four marches, which you can see right here. I've been thinking about going to a fifth march for a long time. It's just a matter of seeing what commanders best suit my playstyle. As you can currently see, I use two cav marches, my Nev Drone and Huel William march, and I use one infantry and one archer march. So my fifth march was a thought of like, do I want to use two infantry or do I want to use two archers? And I skipped this whole gen of commanders. When I say I skipped this whole gen, I mean I skipped Belly Prime, I skipped Wallace, and I skipped Shajar. I don't know how to pronounce her name. So I currently have a lot of gold heads saved up. So this did lead me to like my conclusion, what I want to do for my fifth march. I did an open field guide like maybe a month ago, I forget, on where I thought the best march for a fifth march would be Asher Nebu or Asher YSG. And I still think, in my opinion, this is the best fifth march option currently, just because Shajar, whatever how you pronounce her name, isn't that good. If you've seen Shajar, the new archer commander, she doesn't synergize very well with a lot of the current meta commanders, just because true damage doesn't get buffed by skill damage. So I would say this still holds up for the best 5 march, but I went a little bit of a different route. So I did end up thinking that I want to do 2 infantry at the end of the day, just because I think 2 archers is way too slow for my playstyle. For some people, 2 archers might be fine. If you look at my Zug March has literally every march speed possible. I have a crit flag, I have T5 awakened boots, right? I have 10. This is 10% march speed, and even with the crit flag, the awakened 5 boots, and I even have march speed and talent. I'm using this for chaining. I have 6% in talent, and it is still too slow for me. So I don't think I can handle another archer march in my lineup, especially Asher YSG or Asher. I could do Asher Nebu, but I don't think that's a very high damage march, and Asher YSG is way too slow for me. So what I decided was to end up doing Scipio Wallace. But I didn't want to do it right now. The reason being that I saw the leaks for Ragnar Prime. So if I did a 5 march like this, it would be Scipio Wallace and Luce Alex for 2 infantry. And some people that saw Ragnar, if you saw Ragnar, you know that he's a skill damage commander. So when I say skill damage, that means he will synergize very well with Scipio Prime. Now we haven't seen the like numbers from Ragnar Prime yet, but I assume that he'll be fairly good with Scipio Prime. That's my assumption. So this is my initial ideal 5 march, and after I saw Ragnar Prime, I decided, oh, looks like a good pair with Scipio, so I would end up doing Scipio Ragnar Prime and Luce with Alex still. So the only change here would be, instead of using Wallace, I would use Ragnar Prime. And of course, assuming Ragnar Prime is not good, I would still end up going with Wallace later on, just because I think Wallace carries value long term, just because infantry does seem to be still hovering toward, pivoting toward a more smite damage configuration, just because all the recent infantry commanders have been for smite damage. Gorgo, Luce, Wallace, as well as basically everyone for infantry. I assume the next gen infantry will also be smite damage as well. So this is my ideal 5 march setup with Ragnar. Obviously though, I don't have Ragnar, and I haven't invested in Wallace yet. So what am I going to do right now? This current KVK, we're playing Tides, and we have the artifact in our Tides KVK. So the artifact will come out, actually next reset, so it'll come out a day before my Pass 7 opens. This artifact comes out pretty close to Kingsland, so I'll have access to it for Pass 7 as well as 1 day in Kingsland. So I'll basically be using 5 marches with 1 artifact march. And you can see which one is my artifact march, which I decided on. So let me show you the marches. The top 3 are pretty conventional marches, which you might see pretty often. And you can see I'm using for my artifact march, Scipio, Zug, and Herman YSG. So these are 2 marches I'm not very familiar with, but I know that Herman YSG should do pretty well. Support tree for Herman makes it pretty fast, as well as tanky, and YSG's relic is pretty nice as well. It'll still be a pretty slow march, but I'm planning to put my Zug Zug gear on it, which should make it faster. This march, I think, is pretty good actually. Artifact Scipio Zug. I think this is anything with Zug, like Nevsky Zug, Scipio Zug. I think those 2 pairs will be very good. So that's what I decided to do for this current KVK. So while I have the artifact for this KVK. So this is not going to be permanent, obviously. This is just artifact for this KVK. But I decided on these 5 marches for this current KVK. And I think these are my best 5 options with my given commanders that I have invested in. And obviously, after this KVK ends, I'll obviously be doing one of these 2 configurations, depending on how good Ragnar Prime is. Now, I did say I'm doing 2 infantry marches. You can see I'm doing Lou Alex and Scipio Zug. But I currently only have 1 set of infantry gear and 1 set of infantry armaments. So, you might be wondering, am I ready for this second infantry march? And I'm like halfway there. I'm not fully ready. If you look at my materials, which I saved up, you can sort of see I'm at a pretty decent spot. 358 legendary materials. Obviously not enough for a full gold set. The set I'm aiming for is the same as my normal Scipio March, which I used the normal 4-piece set, the Eternal Empire set, with the Hope Cloak as well as purple pants and ring and horn. So I do plan to make the same set, but this costs way too many materials, way more than I have right now. So I'm currently sitting at 358. What I plan to craft is just the 4 pieces right here, the Hope Cloak, set helm, set boots, and the ring, which will cost 280 legendary materials. In general, this is the order you want to craft the pieces in as well. Hope Cloak first, set helm second, set boots, then ring or horn should come fourth. And these are what I'm going to craft later. The set shield, I believe, should be the last craft. Set gloves should be the second to last craft. And I should also make the horn at some point. But I think ring will just be much better on a Lou Alex march. I'm going to slap this gear on my Lou Alex. And I'm going to put my best gear on my Scipio Zug march, actually. So my existing gear, which I have on my Scipio, I'm going to leave it on. This is going to be gear for my Lou Alex march. For those of you wondering, is this still really necessary on Lou Alex? Just because how fast Lou Alex is? I still think march speed is king. Especially on the field, I think you can never have enough march speed. Unless some of your marches are way too fast compared to others. But I just think you want to prioritize march speed as much as possible. So I'm going to slowly work toward this 4-piece set. But I currently have just enough for 2-piece set with Hope Cloak and Ring, which I'm going to make right now. So, yeah, wish me luck. I'm going to craft those pieces right now in my blacksmith. So, like I said, I have the blueprints for the Hope Cloak, which I'm going to make right now. And no crit. Oh, well. So that's going to go in there. I said I was going to make the... What did I say I was going to make next? The set helm. Set helm. So I have everything already mostly ready for it. Set helm. Next. Oh, no crit again. So that's the set helm. And I said I'm going to make the set boots next. So set boots will come next. I did stockpile a decent amount of blueprints over time as well. Just saving. Oof, no crits at all. And I'm also going to do 1 ring. So we'll do 1 ring as well. Which you can buy from the KVK shop right here. It's nice that they made it, you can buy 2 every KVK. Of course, I'm never going to buy 2 probably, but it's nice you can. And we make the ring right now. Oof, no crits. Well, it is what it is. And then you just put the gear on. I'm going to do it on my Blue March then. So, it's unfortunate I got no crits, but you can sort of see the gear coming together right now. Bear with me. And I do have like the iconic crystals for all these pieces as well, which is real nice. So this is like sort of making a set from scratch. I didn't make the pants yet. I'm planning to purple pants. I honestly think purple pants is better than Eternal Night. And then I'll probably just go with the wind scars here. And the pants, I said I was going to do the purple pants. Crocs Humility, whatever you call it. So let's do the purple pants. I have 8 of these blueprints? Wow, okay. And we're fine. There we go. All right. So this is more or less what you're looking at, what I'm looking at for my second march, second infantry march at least. All right. Also have to awaken all these pieces. I forgot you have to awaken them. So just go to the blacksmith and awaken them real fast. So awakening all these pieces. God, it's so annoying. So like the ring. Ring is probably the first piece you awaken. Accessories are the best to awaken first. And let's go to the rest. Where are the pieces? Let's just go filter like this. There we go. It's a little hard to see actually. And we did the chest. Yep, there we go. chest and the boots. All right. Yeah, the iconic crystals are a lot easier to get now, so I have a ton of iconic crystals piled up as well. All right, there we go, and that's my set, which I'm gonna run for this KVK. That was just how many legendary materials that was? That was 280 legendary materials down the drain right there. But it's for a good cause. My 5th March, of course. On my blue March. All right. So that's my 5th set of gear. Obviously, like I said, I'm going to improve this to a 4-piece set for the 10% March speed. That's where I'm sitting right now. Now let's come to the armaments. I have one set of wedge armaments, which I'm going to use for my Scipio Zoog March. As you can see, it's not the best. A lot of attack on the march, but I can't do much about that. I have a lot of armaments with two of stats, and I don't want to really reroll, waste the 5 transmutation souls rerolling this right now. So instead, I'm just going to build my second march, my second inscription march from scratch. So you can see this is what I have for the arc formation. Not very good at all, but you know what? I have been saving for quite a while, and I'm currently sitting at 113 stones. So what I'm going to do is instead do a lot of transmuting. So what I generally try to do when I transmute is try to keep at least 2.5 of a stat. So what I want to do is instead lock the 2.5 and then just keep rolling until you get something better. So I'm going to use all 113 stones, or at least try to use as much as I can. Yep. And just keep rolling until you get better stats. If you don't, it is what it is. This is what gambling is all about. Hey, there's something better. Usually when I see something like that, I just stop it and then go to another piece and then just sort of roll. This is, I think, the best slot I had for this slot, this piece. 3.5% defense. I don't think I had a robust or anything like that. So I'll just keep rolling this piece. Yeah. So because I want this in the best shape as possible, I'm just going to roll. I'm going to, what's it called, reset this and just keep rolling. I don't advise using a transmutation crystal like this, but I am sort of desperate, so whatever. Little, not really better. Well, that's gambling. All right, so you can see why I haven't had much luck with arc formation. Now for this slot up here, the horn thingy, I only have 1 inscription out of all my arc pulls somehow. It's not even a good inscription, but I guess that's really good enough to inscribe. So 3.5 attack, just hit it, I guess. Keep going. Man, I hate doing armaments sometimes. All damage, sure. That's probably better. You want more stats whenever possible. Nope. Improvement, sure. 1.8 is too low to keep, though. There we go. That's better. Well, improvements are improvements, so. Man, this one was tragic. Maybe I just take another one and roll it, but. Now it's looking a little better. Unfortunately, not where I want it to be. I try to have all my set of armaments at least 35% stats, so this is probably the worst piece I have. So I'm just going to swap it out with something else that I can find and just roll it again. I rolled this piece 10 times just now and I got nothing good. So I'm going to use this piece, 3.5 attack, and just roll it. Because I'm trying to get as much stats as I can on each armament. Unfortunately, I didn't get really good luck on this one. Let's transmute this one and see how we get it. No. Something better, I guess. Did I even lock? Now I'm going to roll. Keep going. No. Man, Cav is always good for me, but I never get anything really good with infantry for some reason. No, I think I just go. Man, no luck with infantry, huh? So I think I just keep what I have here, which is the 2.3 defense. Not really what I was looking for, but my transmutes were not good. I try to keep, like I said, everything at 2.5 or higher. That's my sort of benchmark to like stop transmuting or like keep the stat and keep rolling. 2.3 is honestly too low for me as well. So you can sort of see where I'm at in terms of like each armament, which is not really good. But I do have one more thing which I can use, which is the destructive KVK inscription, which is pretty nice. I'm just going to put that on this piece right here. You can press this button and put the destructive on there. I think this is worth it because it's 3 of a stat, so that's definitely worth it in my opinion. That'll make it a little better. Obviously, it's not perfectly what I want, but I used a lot of stones just now, and I didn't get much out of it, so I feel a little bad now. But yeah, this is where I'm sort of sitting at on my 5th set of gear. Okay, destructive two 3.5 inscriptions and a pretty bad inscription here. Not much stats, but not much you can do about that. So if you're wondering how my 5 marches now look, as well as my armaments, not too bad. You can see I have 2 hunters and 1 destructive, so 3 special inscriptions. I have 1 and gotten autarchs for 3 KVKs basically. You can also get these for free if you travel, but I'm not lucky. So you can obviously see this is the one I was working on just now. Not the best, of course, but I'll still be working on this over time. You can see my other sets are pretty well off. I have a lot of stats on my other sets. The infantry set, both my infantry sets need a lot of work, but in terms of armaments. But my gear looks pretty good for the most part, I'd say. Once I do 4-piece set on my right side gear, it'd be pretty solid. So that's where I'm currently sitting with all my 5 marches as of now. I've also set my 5 marches in game, as you can see, using Herman YSG. Scipio Zug with the artifact. You can see the artifact working right here, converting everything to infantry. Nev Joan, Huo Will, and Lou Alex, which I just built the march for, or the gear and the armaments for. So those are my 5 marches, which I'm going to run this KVK. I'm not going to run them all KVK. The artifact only lasts until, I think, the first day of Kingsland. So I'll be using probably 4 marches in Kingsland as well. And then I'll be using 5 marches again next KVK. So the plan, like I was saying at the start of the video, my ideal 5 march was using Wallace. Then I saw Ragnar. So after this KVK, most likely my ideal 5 march will be either using Wallace or Ragnar Prime, depending how good Ragnar Prime is. Now, if you're wondering when you're able to get Ragnar Prime, it looks like he's coming a lot sooner than expected. I thought he would be coming a little later, but it looks like he's coming in this next update, the October 22nd update, which is next Tuesday. So most likely he's coming in this event called the First Strike event. So for a limited time, you'll be able to try out the new legendary Viking commander, Ragnar Prime. It says try out here, but this event looks very similar to the one which gave out 2 free siege commanders to us. When I see those siege commanders, I mean these ones here, Margaret and Gaja. So these 2 also came free in a limited time event. It's actually similar to the 7K sort of format, where you go through 10 levels, and each of the levels, at the end of 10 levels, you get 10 heads. I believe there's a second part to this event. It's like you have to purchase a pass, and it gives you like more heads and more extra rewards as well. But just doing the regular event will give you 10 heads to unlock probably Ragnar Prime. I remember that event also gave 10 heads for both of these siege commanders. I believe they're both now on wheel, but I would never spin wheel for a siege commander. So that's how I know both of these guys came from some limited time event. So that's where I assume Ragnar Prime will be coming into the game. And most likely this event will come, I'd say, within a week of this update. So probably toward the end of October is when I assume we'll be seeing Ragnar Prime in the game. Now, I think everyone by now has seen this Facebook post sort of teasing Ragnar Prime coming to the game. Obviously, he's going to be a skill damage commander, which is why I think he'll be so good with Scipio. You can see on the talent trees, he has skill in one of his talents. So that means he will be a skill damage commander. I think this commander, obviously we can't see the numbers. We just see the skills. So there's still a chance that he's not particularly good if the skill numbers are not that good. Like for instance, if they don't give him like a 2k damage factor on his active skill, there's a chance he might not even replace Guan or be better than Guan. So it's all speculation if I think Ragnar Prime will be good. Just on paper, it doesn't look particularly bad. I think if the numbers are good enough, then he will be a good replacement or good use with Scipio Prime, probably replacing Guan and be better use than Wallace in a second march for infantry. So I'm pretty sure everyone's seen these, but if you haven't, just take a look at it. But this is my logic. I just think it'll be good with Scipio Prime just because he's a skill damage commander. He also has AoE. So there's a lot of synergy that I can see happening with Scipio Prime. But of course, there's a chance he's bad. We don't know the numbers. We just see the skills and the description of the skills, right? So that was all I wanted to discuss in this video. Mainly just wanted to address that I will be going 5 marches at some point. Just temporarily for this KVK, as I stated, 5 marches by my next KVK at the minimum. But yeah, anyways, that's all I have for this video. And until next time.